So let's talk about data classification and how it relates to government and non-government type of entities. So we can sort of look at it like this, as a pyramid. And there's going to be a couple different levels. And we'll say the topmost is class 3, 2, 1, 0. And so in class 0, we're talking about public information. And sorry, I'll say this is for the non-government and this is for government. And so at class 0, you're talking about public information. And this is, when we say public, we mean information that can be readily found on the internet. Doesn't require any kind of special access. It's just available. Likewise, on the government side, this is going to be called unclassified. So this is very similar to public information. It's not classified. It's open to whoever wants to view it. At class 1, you have another level up and we'll call it sensitive. And likewise on the government side, we're going to call it confidential. Now again, this is information as we move up the stack from lower level, meaning more widely open, up the stack to something that's confidential or sensitive. In the non-government sense, it's considered sensitive. In the government sense, it's considered confidential. Now this information obviously is going to have fewer eyes and is not publicly available. It's going to require some level of special access. The next thing we're going to talk about is private. And again, we're moving up the stack here. On the government side, we call this secret. So private and secret data is going to require even further special access. And this may be limited to individuals at certain levels of the organization. So in a non-government sense, it may be available only to executives. For the government side, it may be available only to certain individuals within an administration. So finally, we're going to get up to confidential or proprietary. Proprietary. And then on the government side, we're going to call this the top secret. And when you're at that level, at the highest part of data classification, you're talking about information that is only available to a very, very small set of people. We may be familiar with top secret, meaning it's data that has very broad impact in terms of damage. So from a government perspective, plans on military activity or plans on engineering around certain critical infrastructure. And on the non-government side for organizations, it could be financial plans, it could be information about specific projects that are underway and so forth. But the reason we classify this data is we really want to understand what is the damage that can occur on this information. So again, from a top secret confidential perspective, the damage could be very grave. And what that means is that it could be individuals, from a government perspective, individuals could be compromised, especially if they are secret agents or things like that, or it could have national security implications. Information falling into the wrong hands means that an adversary could gain the upper hand on the government. Same thing with an organization in terms of confidential proprietary. That information could potentially bankrupt the organization or create a competitive edge for a competitor in the space. When you get in, move further down the stack, secret and private, secret on the government side, private on the non-government side, we're talking about maybe not the end of the organization or the end of the nation if that information becomes available. However, there could be some level of impact and often considered just serious consequences. So again, that could mean that perhaps somebody gains some information about a project within a non-government organization, but it's not critical information that's going to give them some type of an edge. And then again, as we move down with sensitive, really talking about moderate damage. And that might mean from a government perspective that it might just not reflect well upon the government. From a non-government perspective, maybe it's particular information that is internal but not going to create any kind of significant hardship to the organization. And then of course with unclassified or public information, the damage should be none, preferably.